I got the text at 2:17 a.m., a time when the world was silent, when even the hum of the streetlights outside seemed distant. It wasn't from her. It was from someone else, a name I didn't recognize. The message was simple: can't wait to see you tonight. My stomach dropped in a way I hadn't felt in years. I stared at my phone, the screen glowing like a spotlight on a truth I didn't want to face. My mind raced, trying to convince itself it was nothing, a wrong number, a joke. But every fiber of me felt that icy twinge of dread. It wasn't the first time I'd noticed something off. She'd been distant for weeks, her laughter lighter, but fleeting. Calls went unanswered. Texts replied hours later, or not at all. And when she did reply, there was a strange formality in her words, like she was hiding the weight of something I was never supposed to see. I told myself I was overthinking. I always told myself that, until tonight. I had gotten home late from work, exhausted and craving the comfort of normalcy. The house was quiet, the kind of quiet that usually made me smile. But this night it felt heavy. And then I heard it, the soft click of the bedroom door. Not her. I froze, listening. And then I saw him. He wasn't supposed to be there. No one was. But there he was, leaning casually against the doorframe, smirking, looking at ease in my home. And there she was too, my wife, the woman I had promised myself to for better or worse, tangled up with another man, her face flushed, caught in a moment I'd never imagined I'd witness. I didn't scream. I didn't shout. I didn't even move. I just watched. And that's when the betrayal became something more than a physical act. It became an emotional gut punch I couldn't have prepared for. My heart wasn't only breaking. It felt like it was being methodically dismantled, piece by piece. She saw me immediately. The way her eyes widened, the way her hands trembled as they pulled away. It should have been relief, panic, anything. But instead, she hesitated. And in that hesitation, in the flicker of recognition in her eyes, I felt a deeper wound in the act itself. I realized then that the betrayal I was seeing wasn't just in what she was doing. It was in how little it seemed to matter to her. "Hey," I said finally, my voice barely more than a whisper. Not because I couldn't yell, but because screaming would have been too honest. She froze. He froze. I could hear the silence, thick and suffocating. The kind of silence that presses in from all sides until your own heartbeat is deafening. "Don't," I started but couldn't finish. How do you even begin to articulate a heartbreak like this? He left first, without a word. He disappeared down the hall like he had no part in this disaster at all. And then it was just us, her and me. She started, voice trembling. "I didn't mean for you to." "Stop." I cut her off. The word was sharper than I intended, but it felt necessary. I felt like every ounce of tenderness I had reserved for her was being siphoned away by the sight of her guilt-soaked eyes. I need to understand why. She hesitated, and in that hesitation, I felt the weight of every lie, every excuse, every small betrayal I had ignored because I trusted her blindly. I don't know," she admitted finally, the word small, almost pathetic. I felt lonely, neglected. I know it's wrong." Her explanation didn't hurt as much as her honesty. It was a calmness, the lack of real remorse, the way she seemed more confused and heartbroken. My mind flashed through memories that now stung like acid, the lazy Sunday mornings, the quiet dinners, the promises whispered over coffee that now felt hollow. I wanted to grab her, to shake her, to demand that she fix the fractures she'd caused. But I couldn't. Instead, I sat down heavily on the edge of the bed, head in my hands, feeling the weight of a love that had become unrecognizable. I don't know if I can do this," I said finally, my voice raw, almost foreign to me. "I don't know if I can trust you again. Maybe I never will." She sank to her knees beside me, reaching for my hand. "Please, I made a mistake. I pulled away, not out of anger, not entirely, but because a betrayal had taken something from me I didn't know how to get back. Not her, not the love, not even the version of myself that believed in us unconditionally. We didn't speak for hours. The room hummed with the silence of broken promises. I kept thinking about all the small signs I had ignored, all the moments that now carried a hidden sting. How long had she been living this double life? How long had I been blind? By the time morning came, I had made a decision. Not out of hate, not out of spite, but out of necessity. I couldn't let the betrayal define me, and I couldn't let my life be controlled by someone who no longer valued what we had. I need space, I said finally, my voice steadier than I felt. Time to think. Alone. She nodded silently, tears streaming down her face, and I realized that no amount of apologies could undo the hurt, that some wounds were too deep for forgiveness. At least not yet. I walked out of that house and didn't look back immediately. I let the door close between us and felt a strange, almost liberating weight lift from my chest. The betrayal still burned, but so did a new kind of clarity, a knowledge that I was capable of standing alone, of reclaiming my self-respect, of surviving the heartbreak without losing myself entirely. It didn't feel like victory. It didn't feel like love, but it felt like truth. And for the first time since that text appeared in the middle of the night, I felt like I had control over something again, my life, my choices, and my heart. And maybe someday that would be enough.